Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel on this road to 2000. This is going to be day 247, so let's jump straight into the action and see what we can do today. Okay, so we're playing 10 minutes still, and we've got the white pieces, so we are going English. We're going to go c4. Now, I have been trying to switch things up a little bit, but for now we're just going to keep developing and see how this kind of unfolds. Right, so they might be trying to just gain a nice pawn chain for the moment. Let's just fianchetto, carry on with what we normally do. Absolutely fine. Now instead of going e4 and d3, getting your knight out into e2, I've been sort of maybe going to b3 and trying to have a bit more of a solid chain up this way. And I'm going to fianchetto this side as well, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. Okay, knight out, and then if they push, we can always take back. That's fine. And let's develop and castle. Queen out, long castle. They push, just going to come all the way back. Or even still, if they push, maybe jump in here. Okay, that is interesting. I did want to get my queen there, but we can't do that now, so we can just castle. And, well, I don't want them coming in either square, but I can't really do much about that. I think maybe centralize, ideally the rook, and then push. Or maybe a d3 and then e4. Now, they can obviously go back, so they've got escape squares, but I think that's a good shout. I've been getting myself in the past in trouble for pushing this f-pawn, and then that leads to a potential check at some point, so I just want to keep that there for the time being. They can sort of still come in, but it is what it is. Now, we're going to keep this bishop on this diagonal. It looks quite nice there. So maybe just centralize the rook. Line the rook up with their rook. And at some point they will probably get involved in the action. Now, I'm thinking about trying to make some progress in the middle of the board. However, noticing this has currently got 3 attackers. And it's only really defended twice. So I'm going to bring my... although obviously they're not going to take the knight and lose the knight for a pawn. But I am going to, I'd say, probably get this into the action just to be on the safe side. Now, I do want to push this pawn, but then that means this pawn is not defended by the pawn. And that then means I've only got a defender in terms of the rook, the knight, and maybe the bishop. If I can get this knight out of the way. I guess I could maybe even try and knight h4 takes bishop. It's an option. What else can they do? They can't really do much more. I think that's a good shout. This knight isn't currently doing much, and it can't really get into the game. So I think that's a... Is that a nice bishop of theirs? I don't think it's... I mean, they could come in here. Right, we're going to take this first. Now, they can take our knight. We take with check first. And then we take back. So they've won a pawn. No, they haven't won a pawn. I don't think they realised I could take with momentum with the check. which means they just lose. Not the game, obviously, but they're just down material now. Just a slight miscalculation on their part. Okay, so they take back. Now, take back with the rook or the bishop. I think bishop is probably a no-brainer. I'd like to keep my my rooks connected, so maybe get the queen out. And a lot of time left, so I just need to kind of... I have been known in the past to... I could do this, and if they take, then we just take the queen, obviously. But I just think that's a little bit... Now, if I push the knight, where do they go? I think that's solid. I was thinking of maybe trading off queens, but then this pawn would have hung. So now I'm going to offer the exchange. Okay. They may come in here. Looking at the pawn. They may come in here. So it's annoying because I think they're going to try and hit me, but I think I can meet them with this. Now, okay. That is interesting. So I mean, if I bishop h3, and if they push, then I can try and... I think that's a good shout. They may push here. If they do, then I think I probably just drop back to e2. A long way to go in this game. But if they don't do something here, then they're in danger of losing a... Wow, okay, so that was probably a good move from them. Now, can I push them? Is that just pushing my pawns too far? It might be. Again, I don't want to allow them in. What about I beat them to... I'm going to drop back. I think that probably makes a bit of sense now. I've got the rook lined up with the queen, pawn potentially pushing me and stuff, still protecting this pawn from the queen. Queen is in line with the king, which is never good. I definitely, if they push, I definitely don't want to take... Well, I can't take because I'd be in check. I might just get my king out the way. I just think that makes a lot of sense. I think if they push, I jump in. I think it's good in this position not to get overly obsessed about trading queens, but I'm eager to trade off queens. I think that would really benefit me. Okay, so I might not get that chance. I'm going to start with the pushing pawns. Maybe try and take something. If they push, then maybe I can try and... Okay, now I think that kind of works a little bit. Unless they want to start doing that, but they can't. I just take... What do they take with? I don't want to take... I want to take in... I want to take so that this pawn is still... Actually, do I? I'm not sure. Okay, so they're looking at this pawn, but I'd be looking at, I just think I'm going to take like that. I know this pawn hangs, but yeah, okay, now we look at this potentially, don't we? It's not a bad move. They take this, we take this, and then maybe try and infiltrate. Okay, so they protect. I think trying to occupy an open file just makes a lot more sense. If we get met with rook b8, then we're just going to have to drop back. I think this is probably the best spot for it for the time being. Could still hit the queen, but the queen just tucks herself back into h7. So just, and I want to keep these pawns together in front of the king. Can drop back, try and hit this, but I think that's when the party really gets started. I guess I could try and double up the queen. They take, I take, rook comes in, I get out of the way. If they take, I start trying to munch up all those pawns, but now I think this could be a no-brainer. Oh, have I just, what? Out the way. Yeah, cool, alright. So they're just protecting the knight. So they may just... Or bishop g2. And if they get sloppy and think closing it down, then that, but... Okay. I think that's a good move. So, what's their plan? What are they trying to do here? If I takes. I don't want to... I think I've got to close this down. I'm going to close this down. I just think taking is just irresponsible. Ideas are still taking this pawn. And I do only have one option now. In fact, I have to be a tad careful here because I think if they push, then I'll just push as well. But the fact is my king's the only one defending this bishop. Maybe bring the rook into G1. But I think this is the first thing we can try and deal with. Wow. Yeah, I wasn't expecting it. I think with two pawns running down the field like that, running down the board, I think I've got to just take. I think it's a no-brainer. If I take, queen's, I mean, I'm going to take. There's no two ways about that. What do they want to do here? Well, I think we just say goodbye to that, no? I think that's a no-brainer. Queen obviously is looking over here now. And queen is in there, so I've got to be a bit careful here. Look, if I attack the queen, where do they go? They can nick the pawn, but... I don't like this pawn. I think that's probably a bit more of a better option. There is a check there, followed by nothing, but it just means their king has to move over here. It's just not a good look. And maybe if they take the pawn, check, and then maybe try and trade off queens. I don't think that's a bad option. What about this? Does it just get met with them pushing? Do we just jump in? Is there a check? There's no checks. Do I need to worry about pawns? Maybe. We're going to go for it. Ideas as well, actually, depending on what happens on this situation. I mean, if they swap queens, these pawns look quite nice. But I think I can try and deal with this. I think king one's over here. Now, if I jump in here, that's fine. It just means they can't really move their rook's kind of tied in for the minute, unless they try and get their rook over this way. Now I've got to be careful. I think back is probably the right move. King's got to get involved. Currently protected by the knight. These bishops have got to mean something, surely. Yeah, rook f1. Sorry, bishop f1. Come in there for another check potentially. Okay, they've cut me off. King goes back. Not really. Maybe. It allows my king to get in. It's weird, isn't it? Or I could just take this out. They take, I take. Alright, they didn't want that check coming in. What about that? Now if I take, I can get that pawn. King can get involved. That's still concerning. But as things stand, they push. They can't push this one, obviously. It just gets taken. What about a jump in here? Then what? It's got to be winning. Surely this is winning. Hang on. I take. Rook takes. I take. Right, king's going to move. I'm just going to take that. And that. Now, they may try and come all the way down here. If they do, we're going to take that pawn. And then if they move forward again, we're going to take that. Actually, we're going to move rook over first. Double up on that. Okay, cool. Giving up a pawn, which is annoying. There is a check. I'm just going to jump in here. Could be a draw if rooks come off the board. I will take it. Sometimes you just got to take it, you know? Yeah, I mean, I think that was drawing at the end, but I had my chances, and I think it was a bit longer on the clock before the last sort of maybe 10 moves. I think I do that. I think taking the knight was a mistake. I think I should have got my king involved. I think if I had calculated that properly, then I should have been all right. But I played with 80.1%. They played with 82.1. Yeah, that's solid enough. Let's have a quick look through that. So off the opening, I'm 0.4 up, which is, I'll take it. It's not bad. It's steady. And then let's have a quick look into this a bit more. And from here, I then go on for the next part of the game. And yeah, that's just a mistake. And we didn't actually realize until we move into it, and we're like, hang on, we take there. Now they're supposed to take back. And that's, well, they're not. They're supposed to hit my rook. Wow. That's interesting. Wow. Gives them momentum, doesn't it? We take with check. Always the taking with check just gives you that extra move. We take back. Now we're winning here for the next little while. 4.8, and I did say at the time I've been in some decent positions in the past and just can't. I let them get back in the game. I'm very, very passive, especially when up this sort of much. But I think when you still got two rooks, a queen, and a knight, I mean it's still game, even if the computer's saying it's 4.3. I got myself in a bit of a pickle here. I wasn't quite sure how to sort of progress here. And I think in this situation, one of my downfalls is that I do look at more defensive moves and watching out for my pieces more than I do for potential opportunities to infiltrate. So that's something I need to... Okay, it doesn't like that much. I wasn't sure. I just thought this looked more naturally. It looked naturally better, but I don't know. Okay, wow, I like that. That's tension though. Look, they attack you here. You bring out this, and if they take, then you take with. Oh, it just seems so scary, doesn't it? It seems really worrying. I should have taken with the. Okay. Okay, it wants me to push a pawn. I see where they're coming from. If they don't take, then you obviously push up again. It just, yeah. Mate and 4 to me. Was this the check here? Then they push forward. Oh, if they push forward, it's... Oh my gosh. Little tactic I missed out on there. Yeah, go for the check. Show miss checkmate. Queen has to do that. Wow. Wow. Oh, I'm gutted. Gutted. Had I spent a bit more time on that, I think we would have got that. But I saw the check from the queen on c2. But then I saw them pushing and I didn't see anything past that. Or I didn't bother calculating past that. And from here, it's pretty much just a bit kind of... A little bit silly. Time played a part. Okay, one set over there. It doesn't want that. Yeah, I thought that was the case. but it was still 4.2 up. Now, okay, that would have made much more sense. Bishop G3 takes here, and it's basically 1.4 up, and then it's completely equal here. So I should have pushed forward, kept that pawn, and it's a draw now. It's a draw. But I have my chances, you know. You win some, you lose some. You win some more in time. But yeah, it is what it is. Anyway, guys, listen, I hope you enjoyed the video. Give it a like, comment, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. And until next time, happy chessing. See you all later. Take care. Bye-bye.